In this lesson, we'll review a question from a long nonfiction reading passage. This is part of the critical reading section. We're on page 392, question 13. And hopefully you've read this passage. Remember, always focus on the italics just to give you some reference, but also to gauge whether it's fiction or nonfiction. And here, it's adapted from a memoir. The author, a son of a black American woman and a Congolese man, has lived in both the U.S. and Africa. He was raised in Boston and Tanzania, and he offers his views on the historical relationship between black Americans and black Africans. We know it's nonfiction. You can get the main theme, but we're going to focus on a specific question here, and this is a vocab in context. In the context of this passage, what does the word shadowy mean? And a good piece of advice, it's never going to be the primary meaning. So if you see shadowy, it's probably not going to be something like, if you look at the choices like concealed and secret, and those two are pretty close. It's hard to distinguish, so we know it's not going to be the primary interpretation of that word. We have to gauge what it means in context. So I've reproduced the passage. This is actually line 40, a little bit before, just for additional context. When we finally met in Africa and America, we were sometimes disappointed. Shadowy imaginings do not usually hold up the light of real experience. So you have the answers here, but I want you to try to predict it. So when we met in Africa and America, we were sometimes disappointed. Shadowy imaginings, this is not imagings, this is imaginings, do not usually hold up in the light of real experience. So let's try to predict it here. We had these expectations when we met in Africa and America, but sometimes we were let down because these shadowy imaginings or expectations do not usually hold up. And so you need to predict. We're looking for a word that our expectations were not met. We're looking something along the line of unrealized or not fulfilled. And if you look at the choices here, we know it's not gloomy in A, and B, secret, that's sort of the primary word. Remember, we're looking for unrealized. C, that's a sinister, sort of evil, obviously not the choice. And then D, concealed, that's sort of like secret, and this is not unrealized. The answer, this is a tougher question. By the way, they're not in order on the reading passages, and the answer here is unsubstantiated. And we see that word unsubstantiated or substantiated, unsubstantiated. It means not proven, not confirmed, unrealized. And so this is how vocab plays a big role, not just in the sentence completions, but also in the reading passages. All right, the answer here is E. See you next time. Thanks for watching.